Can I speak to the manager? Can I speak to the manager? I've had a few people ask me that over the years when I was the boss of the courthouse. Can I speak to the manager? And there'd be moments when I'd say, that's me. And then, can I speak to the man? Can I speak to the man? And I'd say, sure. Sometimes the only man that was working at the courthouse was the cleaner, the gardener, or the maintenance guy. And I was willing to go get them for this person. But they really didn't want to speak to the man or the manager. They just wanted an answer to their problem. And yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me her 17-year-old daughter made some comment, oh, that's just a Karen. That's just a Karen. Now, this 17-year-old daughter, who I love and I've known since she was born, just reminded me of something that I'd read the day before. And it was about, there was an article where there were only women in the auditorium and they were asked to stand up if they'd been assaulted, or if somebody they knew had been assaulted, another female. Everyone in that auditorium except 6 people stood up. Everyone except 6. And then they were asked, stay standing if you spoke up and reported it. Everyone sat down except 6. 6. Only 6 people in that whole auditorium who had either been assaulted or knew someone that had been assaulted had reported it. Now, I worked in the criminal justice system, and when I was sexually assaulted, I didn't report it. I didn't say, I want to speak to the manager. This guy did this to me. I worked in the criminal justice system. I knew what was going to happen, and I just thought, no way, I'm not going to do that. And then I look at my friend's 17-year-old daughter who is talking about, oh, that's just a Karen, a middle-aged woman sitting on a toilet, not knowing everything about COVID and the vaccine, but they've missed the point. They've missed the point. I understand someone's using my name in a pejorative way. I understand that I have to think twice about when I want to speak to the manager. Are they actually going to listen to me, or are they going to think I'm another Karen? And I am a Karen. And even people say to me, oh, you're just being a Karen. And so I don't take my business there. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is the way that this is working is shutting women up. And I understand that there are middle-aged white women using their entitlement, knowing that if they speak to a man or a manager, that white supremacy is going to serve that middle-aged white woman. I understand that, but we're missing the fucking point. It is also sexist, because we could, you know, for a fun, creative process, we could give that person with white entitlement a name, a male's name. This is where it started. And, you know, who could I think of? You know, they're even having conversations on Facebook or in articles saying, oh, we can't find a male name. Well, I could offer one. Who do you know that's misogynist, racist, a bigot, has separated children from their family? I think it rhymes with Donald. We could use that name instead. But again, we're missing the point. Yes, there's racism, but no, I'm taking that but out. I'm sorry. There's racism. And is calling a middle-aged white woman Karen, or calling a Karen, is that going to do anything to connect cultures? Is it going to do anything to create a different world? Tell me how that's going to work. Tell me how that's going to work. Now, I don't care that they use my name. I don't care. It doesn't impact me. I know who I am. I know my contribution has been powerful in relation to equality, both for women And for people of color, I know that. I get that. My mum's upset. And yes, she's another white woman, not quite middle-aged. She's moving into those twilight years. But why does she have to suffer? Because some idiot, some anonymous man back a decade ago was pissed off at his wife, who was called Karen. Pissed off that she took his kids. Maybe he was a dickhead. Maybe he was an asshole. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe she was a bitch. We are not going to know because he's anonymous. And then we have this middle-aged white woman just playing the fucking entitlement card that I'm going to be listened to when a person of color is doing something they don't think is appropriate. Their names were not Karen. And we're forgetting that their names were actually something else and that we can actually call that person on their behavior. But calling every single fucking thing a Karen is beside the point. It's not doing anything to equality, to create equality. It's not doing anything to create any systemic change. And the only way systemic change is going to happen is when we have this internal authority and the power to say whatever there is to say. And whether it is, can I speak to the manager or not? It doesn't fucking matter. I'm so over women being silenced, people of color being silenced, anyone who has a different orientation to the world is being silenced. And calling them all Karen, calling the people out there Karen, it's not going to cut it. I'm happy to go and start calling them all Donald if you think that's going to cut it. No worries. I'm happy to start a movement. My preference is to start a movement of women who are empowered to speak their mind from this authentic place of truth, from this authentic place of being a powerful creator on this planet, completely aligned with who they are to create on this planet. And my friend's 17-year-old daughter, that she does not stop herself in any way speaking up in case she's called a Karen. Because I think the more this becomes a sexist thing and less of an entitlement and less of a spotlight on the racism that happens with white entitlement, be it male or female, the further away from the truth we're going to get. And I feel so passionate about taking up airspace, women taking up airspace, taking up and changing and creating a place where it's okay to say what's there to be said without fear of being trolled, without fear of being humiliated, without fear of being cast in this cement binding that creates worse than what's already happened. I invite all people who are a Karen, who know a Karen, to change the dialogue, change the narrative. Yes, there is entitlement. Yes, and this is where it is. And the name is Donald. The name is Fred. The name is Mary. The name is whatever it is, the name, so that it can be called. That's racism. That's misogyny. That's bigotry. That's homophobia. And call it actually what it is. Name it to who it is. And just step away from creating a whole world that takes the focus away from where we need it.
And take a deep breath and let it out.